Hey everybody, welcome to another THW NHL News and Rumors Rundown. My name is Jim Parsons. I'm here with the HockeyRaiders.com. We got one more day before the NHL trade deadline comes and goes on Monday, March 21st. Got lots of action this weekend. People are not waiting until Monday. Some big trades already went down. Mark Giordano, Hampus Lindholm, Claude Giroux, Robert Hagg, all being moved around here in the last couple hours, or at least the last 48 hours. And we've got some more that we're going to be talking about here. Some potential moves that could happen between now and Monday's deadline. Before we get right into it, though, a couple things to let you know. If you want to follow me, you can do so at the Hockey Raider on Twitter. You can follow us at the Hockey Raiders on Facebook. You can check out the YouTube video. We're posting videos about every major trade that happens here up to the NHL deadline. And then, of course, the HockeyRaiders.com. All right, let's get into some of the bigger stories that have been kind of revealed over the last 24 to 48 hours. Marc-Andre Fleury. Now, here's a guy who people have approached the Chicago Blackhawks about, but he has not been too interested in going anywhere. With one exception, apparently the Minnesota Wild have been talking to Chicago Blackhawks, and it sounds like Fleury would be open to going to Minnesota. Now, the Wild's goaltending hasn't been wonderful since the All-Star break. Cam Talbot is usually their guy, but Fleury could be an option here, and the Minnesota Wild are talking about it with the Blackhawks. So if Fleury does waive, that could send a ripple domino effect through the NHL in terms of the goaltending. Anton Forsberg would be another one. Braden Holtby could be out there. Junius Korpisalo, Alexander Georgiev will all depend on what Marc-Andre Fleury decides to do, whether he stays in Chicago or he goes to a team like Minnesota. So that is something that's kind of gaining some steam here. We'll have to keep our eyes on that one for sure. Andrew Copp is a name that is picking up some momentum out of Winnipeg. It does look like the Jets are probably willing to move him. There are a handful of teams that would be interested here. Pick maybe the Rangers or the Boston Bruins to kind of get in on this one. But there's other teams that could be here as well. So watch for Andrew Copp out of Winnipeg. Aaron Ekblad, so here's some news. So the Florida Panthers have added Ben Sherratt. They got Claude Giroux. Aaron Ekblad gets hurt in kind of the game right after the Ben Sherratt trade, and he's out for the rest of the regular season. Now, the good news here is he's going to be back for the first round of the playoffs, and Florida's pretty much in this thing. So the Panthers went out and traded for Robert Hagg. Now, they could get some more stuff done here before Monday. Now, there's potential that they could add another player, but Frank Saravalli reports that it's more likely that Florida tries to recoup some of their draft picks that they spent on other assets here at the deadline by bringing in some money based on the cap flexibility that is created from putting Ekblad on LTI. Remember, the rules are as long as he is not back for the regular season, his cap hit of $7.5 million, at least some portion of it, doesn't count towards the Florida Panthers salary cap, and then when he comes back to the playoffs, it's all good to go. So they got a kind of a window here in which to make some more moves here before Monday and maybe get some of those picks back if they wanted to try to do that. As far as the Edmonton Oilers are concerned, it doesn't sound like there's going to be too much going on. The left shot defense is kind of their priority. That's the one area that they would like to improve on. Don't expect to see a goaltender deal here done. We'll see what happens with Fleury. Not that he's going to Edmonton, but what the domino effect of Fleury would be for the Oilers. But it's probably going to be a left shot defenseman that gets done here, and it's just going to be a depth guy. Nothing too expensive. They are rumored to be in on Nick Paul out of Ottawa, but we don't really know what's happening with the Nick Paul situation, so we'll keep our eyes on that one. Now, here's a really interesting story coming out of the New York Rangers organization. David Pagnotta of the fourth period has announced that, or at least reporting that, Alexis Lafrenière is maybe available. Now, here's an interesting first overall draft pick. Some people might call him a swing and a miss. Other people could say he hasn't quite reached his potential yet. Lots of ceiling here for him to go and raise and elevate his game. But apparently, if the Rangers get a deal here for a top flight talent who's got long-term contract stability at a decent cap hit, who can come in and help the Rangers right away, the Rangers would be willing to move Alexis Lafrenière. So that's a very interesting development here that's happened over the last few hours. We'll keep our eyes on this one. The Rangers are not big into the rental market from what we hear this deadline. They are looking for players with term. If they're really looking at maybe Alexis Lafrenière or someone they could dangle out there, they're clearly trying to add somebody significant. And this is a player that would be a major, major move. Don't know who that would be, Tyler Bertuzzi or something like that, not sure, but the Rangers dangling Lafrenière is kind of interesting, so we'll keep our eyes on that one too. Keep it locked in on the Hockey Raiders. We got lots going on here between now and Monday's deadline, but that's going to do it for this weekend. We'll have another report probably after the deadline is over, but enjoy the rest of the rush hour that is the 2022 NHL trade deadline.